Good day, everybody. This is Leatherneckmike, and welcome to the next episode of the Nightshift podcast. Myself and Sory, he doesn't like when I call him Sory and Tyler anymore. Myself and Sory go through all things WSBL. Listen to that no copyright music that I got going on for us there. Go ahead and drop that out. So, as always, I am Leatherneckmike, recording this from my dark apartment as a guy who is on the night shift, or for me, early morning shift. Joining me, a guy actually on the night shift. It's Sory. Hello, Sory.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, man?
So this week, for this week's podcast, because we can only do one of these a week, we've got the draft. What went on in last night's round one of the inaugural WSBL draft. And joining us to talk about it is a guy who's not actually created yet. No, he is not on a night shift, but he acts like he has enough hours in the day. He might as well be. It's Enoch. Sorry, Yako. Yako1217, a.k.a. literally everyone on planet Earth in Sim Leagues knows him as Enoch. Enoch, welcome.
Hello. Sorry, we're just getting along.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's mean. That hurt my feelings.
If you don't know who Enoch is, then, well, you either aren't in PBE or are just not very fluent in Sim Leagues, because Enoch is a thing.
Well, I mean, outside of PBE, I don't know if people would actually know me, so there's no reason for them to. So.
As far as I know, even ISFL people knew who you were. So, you would be known in this league because this league went to the ISFL, but basketball. But we'll talk about that later. So, tonight's topic, our round table here, the draft. First round occurred Tuesday night as of recording, the night before, and sorry, I think it was interesting.
It was definitely interesting. There was some shocking picks. Or I wouldn't say there was many shocking picks, more as there was some shocking falls.
Yeah. Couple of really shocking falls to me. Couple of really shocking picks. Shocking, like, what the order was of dudes being picked.
Yeah.
With falls and such.
I agree there.
So, Enoch, you are not involved in the league yet. I do want to talk about this real quick. So what's your plan there, Mr. Yako?
There really isn't much plan. I think I don't know if I can commit to it, and I'm one, and I've said it to many people. It just, I don't like to join something unless I can put like full effort into it. And I don't want, I am just kind of hanging around enjoying it with everybody and seeing how this league goes. I'm rooting for it because everyone seems very excited about it, and I hope that it does well. And so it's not as important for me to be like, oh, I must be in the inaugural class and all that. And I get, like if I join like a little bit later, I'll probably be at a disadvantage. But I will say this: if like I can just kind of hang around, and I can earn money, and maybe one day I'll go into class and actually be picked up really high.
I do say that I think there was a legitimate strat to somebody, like a Beaver or you or somebody, some big max earning sim leaguer who hasn't created yet, creating in like season 4, or like a POW who could earn himself some money. Like, there is a legitimate strategy to that because you would have a peak where everyone else is god awful.
That's the other part. It's just like I think I've mentioned this off air to many people. It's just in this draft, you legitimately have max earners from other leagues coming in. There's obviously only 16 first round picks, so somebody who is probably a first round pick isn't going to make it in there. So you could and
even people who aren't first round picks, who think they should be first round picks, are going to get mad when they don't get in.
Well, I mean, everybody thinks that they can't because they're max earners, and there's a lot to go into this, and I'm not gonna put myself in the GM shoes, and the league is so new. Like, what are you looking for? Like, well, I mean, ultimately, it's very simple. You're looking for guys who will, in this first round, slam dunks that will be active and max earning and be part of your team for a very long time. That's what you're looking for, and so personal relationship comes in really, really important here, because yeah, you could do all the tasks, and you could, like, you probably have reputation from elsewhere, but if the GM doesn't have never met you before, that's I can see that, between two people of all things equal, you would choose the one that you had a relationship with already, because you know how they are, and just that previous relationship will help them being on your team. So I mean, that's my assumption. So I mean, whether or not people did that, that's that's a whole different story.
Yeah, and I think that's something I want to bring up before we actually get into the 16 players in the draft. What, if you guys were GMs, what you would have done here, and this is just with sim leagues in general, doesn't even apply to basketball really, just when you're building that initial team, you've got that first pick in franchise history out of a pool of any number of players. Not necessarily who would you take, but how are you building that first edition of the team? And specifically that first round selection, are you taking, like, would you take that person you're really close to, or would you take the best user available? And we see a lot of this when we get into this draft, but I'm just curious. Me personally, like if we're looking at a draft, and like if I have the first pick, and like I have, like, let's say Enoch has a player, because that would be my closest, either he or Dogwood, probably Enoch because we talk more, but like that would be, and we work together in Kansas City, like that would be my closest personal relationship. If Enoch has no league jobs and he doesn't have a lot of media, then I kind of have to go, even though I don't know them as well, I would scout them, talk to them, see which one of the three, but you would have to go somewhere in the neighborhood of Dude Man, Bailey, Kotasa. I think the top three should be those three people, because those are your people. I mean, they gave themselves $35 million for starting the league. They have 2 seasons of equipment for free. They don't have to do anything. And I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm just saying, like, they already have 2 seasons of free equipment. They're already going to be at really high TPE to start anything else. Guys who don't have a lot of media podcasts right away is going to have to build up from the back, so they're going to lead you in season 1 really well. Like, I would have to go that direction, that best user available direction, as long as they would, like, commit to the team, be in the war room, whatever. But I think you kind of got to set personal relationships aside. Now, if we're talking about the 6th or 7th pick, and we're picking from, and the best user is a bunch of people I don't know, or somebody I know really well, like, let's say I had, Juosu, Toast, and ABH as the 3 people that were reasonable at the 6th selection, let's just say that. And they've all done about the same body of work. Well, then I'll lean Juosu, because I know who that is. I have any relationship with them, as is I don't know the other 2 people. But I think just in general, you go with user and earning and all that stuff. That's just my thought. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Sorry, we can start with you.
My argument with that is if it's that close, personally, try to trade down. Like, if you, like, with how stacked this draft is, if you get to your pick in the middle of the round at, like you said, 6, let's say we're talking about the 6th overall pick, and you have, let's say, 3 users that you like a lot, you could literally, if someone's willing to trade down like that, like a 3.
Well, I'm not saying necessarily like a lot. What I'm saying is, like, let's say at the 6th overall pick, right? Like, let's just say for happenstance, the top 8 people have somewhat near the same body of work. Yeah. And I got to pick 3 people, and I got somebody who I know their reputation, I know who they are, and 2 people I don't really know. Then I will lean to the personal relationship if all things equal. But if I've got a better earner available, then I'm going to go with the earner.
I think
I don't know.
I think Sory has a point there, because in this initial draft, like we mentioned before, they're like, I don't know the actual number, but like it's been brought up, like when talking to other people, there's like 40 legitimate people who probably could have gone in the first round. So
Yeah.
So like if that's the case, like,
well, that's a
I
whole
would
other
probably
argument if we
trade down
want to
and
do
get more
that.
assets.
I mean, if we
Because I
want to
can
do
tell
that
you-
argument, I'd do exactly. We're going to talk about this later. I would have done exactly what New Jersey would have did. I would have gone down further. There is no reason to pick. There is no reason to pick inside the top 10.
I mean,
Like I said, it is an argument you can have, but with like specifically for like what you're saying, like if you're choosing between a close friend that hasn't done as much to a user that is well known, not by other people, but maybe not as you, but is doing a lot. It just depends like on how you're trying to build, because the other thing that is being very neglected here is with how small the rosters are, who you put on your team to mesh with is very crucial. So if you draft like four people that are like really fucking close, like they're going to hopefully bring the best out of each other and to try to make the best team.
Yeah.
Over
That's
like
fair. That's fair.
say you like say you drafted, like say you didn't draft your friend, but you drafted the one person that you thought was going to be the better player, or that is the better player currently, and then it comes down the line, it's like it's just not like the mesh isn't there, like you just didn't.
Well, the other part, I assume you actually talk to your friend. It's not like
Yeah, exactly.
and if your friend is like, nah, I'm just here to kind of min earn. I'm not gonna do media. I'm just gonna do the basics. Well, then no, obviously not. Because that's not. But if they're saying, oh yeah, I'm just getting off to a slow start, but I'm fully planning to, once I get into it, just like in other sim leagues, I'm just gonna max earn and figure out a way to earn, and then it will be worth it. Now I think we will get to a point where would you take them and chance that they won't be taken later. That's another strategy that you're just saying, like, if all things equal here, because like would you have lost them in the 6th pick, and you were like, and if you don't pick them, 7, 8, 9, 10 would have picked them up. So that's something that you have to take into consideration too. But so that's kind of stuff that you risk, by either going best user, which by all means, like it's logical. Best user, they'll earn, that they that they have just sim league experience, but then in the end, how would they mesh with you? Because like, you as a GM may not be what they're looking for, and would they walk on you? Because that's the other thing. It's like, you're trying to build long term here. So at one point, these people, you have to renew these contracts.
And supposedly, I don't know if this is true. I didn't scan the rulebook for this, but supposedly, the max rookie deal is 3.
Yeah, so
I know there is caps on deals. So like rookie deals are small, and even post rookie deals are small. There's no long term contracts
up, but
yeah, the deals are microscopic. The contracts are ridiculous.
I honestly could expect a lot of movement in this league. Like, if something's not, like, if someone wants to win and something's not going the right way, then in that bottom 16 team, your star player could leave you. And I feel like you're going to get a lot of movement. So that's why drafting people you're close with, I think, takes a little bit more precedent over someone that you think might be slightly better.
Because they're going to stay with you?
They're going to stay with you because of loyalty. That's what you're looking for. Yeah. That's because part of that slam dunk in that first round is the fact that they were willing to stay with you. Because here's the thing: you could have max earner. Like in the end, it's just like, oh, maybe they'll have 20 more TPE a season. Well, is that 20 more TPE worth it when you don't have a relationship with them, and there's no guarantee that you know what, your team is mediocre, but team B here, well, they're on the cusp of something, and they have the room for me, I'm just gonna bail. That's something that like that's where those previous relationship comes in a lot, because it's this from grounds up. There's nothing. There's no history for anybody here. So no one knows like how this is going to all work out.
Well, I think we brought up another point. I think we brought up another interesting point, and this we can actually get into the draft, because the guy that owned number 1 overall was Negs and the New Jersey Blackjacks?
Blackjacks.
Blackjacks.
Yep.
And the New Jersey Blackjacks, and he traded down twice. He traded down to 2, and then he traded down to 3. I love that. You know, again, like, I said there's no reason to pick in the top 10. I guess if I was in the top 3 and I could pick an HO member, but anything past the head office member, I would have traded down, because to me, you're at what? Sory, what do you think the count is of users in the league that are first round quality, like first round quality sim league users? 45?
Fuck.
40?
It's definitely up there. I don't know. There's some people I would prefer personally over others. I would maybe limit it to about 25. I would say there's 25 like bona fide first rounders. Okay,
so that's a pick in the second round. So I don't know. I think it's maybe closer to 30, like the end of the second. So anyway, my point is, like, again, what New Jersey did here, although I do say it's a little like they're kind of on the fringe of doing this. I think they should have gone up a bit higher. But, you know, if you have the number 1 overall selection and you can go back to 4, but, like, you can trade, or, well, not back to 4, like, back to 7, and you can get, and you can swap seconds and swap thirds with them for that, because they really want somebody at first overall. I think you do that because that 7-spot difference between 1 and 7, or maybe 4 and 11, whatever, that 7-spot difference in the first round means not nearly as much as a 7-spot difference in 2 and 3. So I really like the idea of trading back. First trade that went down in league history is New Jersey and South Beach. So South Beach goes up from 2 to 1. And the trade is pick 1, 33, and 65 for pick 2, 31, and 63. So you ride that fringe, and you get to 31 instead of the first pick of the third round on 33. 63 to 65 isn't much. It's basically the last pick of the round traded for the first pick of the round kind of deal here. It's kind of ping-ponging and measuring in between here,
which is all you really can do right now, honestly, because without picks being moved, like, picks are kind of locked in where they're at. So I honestly would rate, without even looking at who Negs has drafted, I would rate his draft process already above everybody else. And I think trading down 2 spots and then getting to move up 2 spots,
2 spots twice in different rounds. And then he does it again, so after the first trade, New Jersey has picks 31 and 32 in the draft, 15 and 16 in the second round. Negs then goes and takes 32 and bumps that to 30 by bumping down a spot with New York.
Yeah.
So he gained 6 positions in that critical middle, and I think, and you know, I know Enoch, you created recently, you don't have the full list, but I think, Sory, you and I could agree, there's probably 30 dudes that are either first round quality or max earners. Somewhere that, or if it's 25, you're at least closer to an impact pick than 33.
And you gotta think, if getting to that, like, lower, like, once we get to, like, the mid seconds and stuff, you're gonna see there's gonna be potential reaches or question mark picks that people value higher than others. So then you have a higher someone else that you like potentially.
And also, in my opinion, based on how this first round went, that pick 30 in the second round, whatever that is, I think is going to be worth about pick 26 or 27, depending on how the second goes. Like, if there's more surprises in the second at the same scale as the first, that pick 30 is probably going to net you user number 26, like if you're thinking like a true talent thing. So I think Negs did a nice job here. The other trade was Ziegel once again being very active, and I talked to Ziegel quite a bit. Ziegel basically, look, the rosters are set up so you run 8 guys. That's how the cap is set, and the stamina is set. So Ziegel makes a trade with like Superior with his Moosey. This is another great deal. So the first pick in the 5th round and the 15th pick in the 8th round for the 10th pick in the 4th. So moving mid-earner asset and min-earner asset to get up 7 selections in that area where you're looking for the cliff. Because pick 10, round 4 is what? 32, 48, 58 overall. You're wandering toward the mid-earner cliff at that point. So that could be a bench player 7 picks later. That could be a mid-earner. So I do like that. Or at least a mid-earner who's not as sure. I do like this trade from Ziegel. But anyway, regardless, let's get into the draft.
Let's get right into it.
So, the first overall selection to the South Beach Sting, going out and getting this draft. And hey, again, look, I don't think that there is a reason for Ziegel to make this trade. If he apparently this was leaked well before the draft and not leaked in a Sim League leaking sense, in a he had made it known to people who he was taking. I don't think that there was a lot of reason to do that here. The trade, I mean. Unless Negs is bluffing him, I don't really think there's a lot of reason to do it. Either that or he doesn't value the 2 position down swaps and he just wanted to have the number 1 overall pick to say he had the first pick ever. But yeah, so he takes Katasa, Dave Davidson, point guard. And HO member, I'm not saying that this is not a guy deserving the pick. He absolutely is. The problem is, I don't think Katasa's going... I don't have any reason to believe that Katasa is going to New Jersey. If number 1 overall was on the board and it was still New Jersey, I don't see any reason why Ziegel was afraid he was getting jumped. So I think this is good opportunism on the part of New Jersey to just go, hey, well, everybody in the world knows who you want, now you're going to have to pay for him.
Yeah. So to announce the pick then, officially, it was Dave Davidson, point guard, Kotasa.
Yeah, that's what I
South
said.
Beach Sting.
Yeah.
I maybe must have misheard you. I felt like you were going on for a minute. I must have misheard you actually say the whole pick. I don't have any problem with the pick. I don't personally have a lot of interaction with Kotasa. I think I've talked to him here and there. I know he's a really big user in ISFL though, and everyone loves him. And I don't think there's anything. If Ziegel thinks this is the right pick, he takes the right pick, and then you pair a point guard with a small forward, and you have what is it?
No, I only heard great things about Katasa.
Yeah, exactly.
When they joined PBE, it was like, oh, you gotta pick him up. It's like, okay, with what? So.
But then again, you are pairing a point guard with a small forward, which I think is a perfect pairing or way to draft. But they do have a big drop. Their next pick won't be for a while, so they better hope that they can get a center at the bottom of the second. That really. Wait, no, hold up. No, they're not even the bottom of the second. At the top of the third, actually, they'll be at the top of the third. So they're really going to want probably a center in the third after pairing point guard and small forward at 1.
So that's Katasa to South Beach. Next, New York, who traded up for number 2. They select Bailey Veronica Baker.
No brainer here.
Nope. I don't see a problem with this. Again,
yeah,
I don't.
Bailey's great.
This trade up, I will say that because I criticized the first one. This trade up makes sense. I absolutely see the need Oh, we have breaking news.
Oh, what?
As we are on the air recording this, the second and the third rounds of the draft tomorrow at 8.
I'll be at work. Oh no.
I know we'll all be at 8
God
o'clock
damn
tomorrow.
It.
That is breaking news.
I mean,
Hopefully I will go tomorrow. If not, I will be angry. Because there is some kind of social standing thing to this. I'm sorry. If I'm not in the top 50, I'm going to be mad.
You should be.
But yeah, Bailey, I see no problem with this. One of the people who started the league, head office member, that $35 million in the bank for creating the league. This trade up, I understand. If New York said, Bailey, that's my person, that's gotta have him. Yeah, they were gonna get taken second. And I don't, as far as I know, there wasn't any telegraphing there. But the Titan knows Bailey from the Butchers and ISFL. Good connection there. Really easy pick.
Yeah, if you have that connection, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. They go with a shooting guard small forward combo here, which personally I don't like. I think I just feel like if you already have your small forward, you would like to have your point or your center next. But not saying that it won't work, because like we said, this draft is going to be stacked, so they could still get whoever they want, probably at the bottom of the second.
The next selection, third overall. I'm gonna be honest, this is really, really where things get interesting. Sorry, third overall is
Justin Slimberlake, shooting guard. I am Slim 22.
The brilliant.
I don't hate this pick. It is. I gotta give Slim credit for this one. It's a pretty good name. I don't hate this pick. I would say it's a bit shocking to see Slim go that high. I was expecting Slim to be like maybe closer to 10. Because I think Slim's obviously a first round pick. But I don't hate it. I like, if with what they got, like New Jersey's setting themselves up really nicely for the later rounds as well. So let me double check, who do they have? New Jersey has a shooting guard, so it's getting. Wait, I don't like this pick anymore. Hold up, they have 2 shooting guards on the team now.
well, one of them's probably going to play the 3. Isn't Slim 3 and D?
Negs is 3 and D.
Oh, Negs
I'm
is
not
3
for
and D,
sure
so
about-
he can go play the 3.
Slim is also 3 and D. So
Well, they're both 3. Maybe he just
team-
wants to build defense, I guess.
a team that's going for 3 and D type play is interesting. Another thing I just noticed that I didn't know is that the shooting guard and small forwards have the same height cap.
Yep.
That's kind
Which is
of
dumb.
That is actually really dumb. I didn't know that. So there's literally so there's no difference between shooting guard and small forward then at all. Okay,
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Other than the
besides
builds themselves,
builds.
yes.
yeah, that's actually kind of.
So if you like the
Stupid. I
2-guard
didn't
build
realize
better, then just grab a 2-guard.
Well, then 3 and D kind of sounds pretty broken. Then, if that's the case, because I mean, if that's, yeah, I don't know. I like it now. Then I guess if it's that easy to switch it over. I did not realize that they were the same height cap. I thought if you went that way, you would have to play some small ball, but apparently you will not even have to play small ball.
Enoch, thoughts on SLM?
Well, he's been around some leagues for a long time, so
Yep.
so like I don't have a problem with this pick, at least from just a user standpoint. So I don't know the relationship between GM and user here, obviously. So I would make the assumption that it's a positive one. So or else they wouldn't be picking them. And I mean, Slim knows his way around sim leagues, so it's at least from the user standpoint, it makes sense. Now, I don't know from the strategic team building standpoint of it. Like Sorry said, you have like 2 shooting guards, and maybe one will play small forward or whatever. We'll see how that one works out. But like not
Well,
might not been a way I would have gone, but
there's another team building aspect to this pick, which is why I don't like this pick.
And it is.
You have to understand, I think, when you're going into this draft, yeah, you're trying to draft people that are going to be with you, but there is also an element of you're drafting people that are not only going to stay with you, but you need to draft people that are going to be, and at some point, talent is going to weigh out. But when we're talking about the 3rd overall pick, and still on the board at this point, the only people off the board is Bailey and Kotasa. Still on the board is Simo. I'm not putting Juosu here just because Juosu doesn't have the money yet. Simo, Dude Man, who, like the commissioner, Simo graphics head and has like a crap load of jobs. Laser is still here, and I think all 3 of those people are worthy of the 3rd overall selection. Here's my problem. I don't have a problem with the guy. I never have. Slim has a lot of people that he's rubbed the wrong way. Yes. At least that's always the reputation that I've heard from him. You either like Slim or you detest him. So, what'd you say?
I had to interject a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
The same could be what you just said. Could also be the opposite. Slim has a lot of people that really like him.
That's true.
So this could be a pick to maybe get somebody that Slim's really close with, and like you build a super team.
That's true.
From what I heard, he was able to. He does really well in the locker room. That's why I've never been.
Slim is a great user when it comes to building a team in locker room. Yeah. I think so. In a sense, I think it's a perfect pick. Almost like it's a perfect pick with like there's question marks obviously, but he also has a league job already. So he's already answered your money making stuff. Like I think Slim in the end. Because my only thing against this pick now at this point is the double shooting guard. But if small forward's height is capped at the same as a shooting guard, then I guess there's no actual fucking point of there being a difference between shooting guard and small forward.
But what I was going to say was it's an interesting team building thing because Slim has people he rubs the wrong way, and we'll get to this with the pick later on. He already did that in this league. So I wonder if free agency will be a thing later on for the Blackjacks, and also I wonder how much it limits what you can do later. And those guys staying. Again, I have no problem with Slim, but there's people that got problems with me, but some people have really big issues with Slim. There were articles of who I want to play with, and a couple of those had his name under the do not play list. And he's got a list of his own that he is not afraid, and I have a list I'm not afraid to share. But, I think it's interesting 3rd overall to go that when you have, now if we're talking 10th, of course, but when you have, I think, sure free agent attractions available or just sure team building pieces. But again, it is about the relationships. I think you're at the point here at 3 where there's several different people you can go to. If this is your closest relationship, that's fine. But I just wonder a little about this pick for the future. Not in the Slim himself, but in the interaction around him.
The last thing I'll say about the pick is, if I do remember correctly, like he made a media about his scouting notes or whatever for GMs to look at. I will say I'm pretty sure he said he's not afraid to leave a team if they're not performing well. So that's also kind of scary if Negs can't get it done early.
Right. But that is where I'll say if you're him, well, 1, have confidence in yourself. 2, that's where, look, I moved up 6 users with moving down 2. I got you, and I moved up 6 people, so I attacked that fringe better, and maybe I can build a better unit. So, fourth overall pick, Sparky D and the Detroit Generals select small forward Steven Stone, toast. This is the first one that's really interesting. I mean, well, this is the second one. Slim was really interesting. Toast is still interesting to me. I'm assuming this is based off relationship with Sparky. I think there's better stuff available. Although it should be said, Toast is media head, so it's not like this is unwarranted. I just personally think there's a couple of better people above it, but generally, no serious complaints with Toast here. Media head gonna have plenty of money.
Yeah, I personally don't know Toast that much, other than
and that's the reason
working out. Never really working out in PB, if I remember it correctly. Like every time he would make a player in PB, it never really came to fruition. So, and that's where I'm from. So, or that's where we're all from. So, I mean, reading into this thing a little bit more, like one of the medias about him is that he's pretty still big in ISFL. So that's, I mean, if that's the case, then if you know what you're getting, you know what you're getting. Then just to double check,
if I'm not mistaken, he's Jackson Waller on the Raptors.
Is he?
Yes.
I thought that was a different Toast.
They got two people named Toast on the that has a Toast in their name, but this is Toast.
Okay, you're right. It is Jackson Waller.
I mean, not max, but pretty decent. I mean,
yeah. Okay, so then I'll take it back a little bit. Then I completely missed him there. Then
I didn't even know he was in PDE. I think
but here's another one where you go, which is interesting. Detroit Sparky is a small forward, so now you're drafting two small forwards again.
Yeah,
like the same problem as before. Like we said though, if the fucking height cap is at 6'7", is both for shooting guard and small forward, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a big difference between small forward or shooting guard, which I think is actually a really bad. Like there's no way small forward in general. Like the small forwards normally is minimum height is 6'7", so it's kind of weird that they're going to be capped at 6'7". I think that needs to be slightly changed personally. Otherwise, the entire league's playing small ball.
Except for the center position, it's going to get weird.
What's the height cap for center? I didn't even know.
7'2".
At that 7'2". Then that's really why is small forward so small? Then like
why small forward so small?
I mean, if we're talking about like LeBron James, like the best small forward in the fucking league,
6'9".
I'm pretty sure he's 6'8", 6'9".
And there's threes.
Why 6'7" or whatever, but.
And there's threes that are bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean, well,
now those are mostly point forwards, but there's guys who play three on the defensive side of the ball. If we're talking an NBA comparison, there's guys who play the three that are even bigger than that. But yeah, 6'7" is in the range, but 6'7" is way too low.
But it's on the smaller side nowadays. I mean, you're talking about
6'7"
back in the 90s. Then that's what that is.
Yeah.
But your height cap on a power forward. Your height cap on a power forward is 6'11". There is not 4 inches difference between your threes and your fours anymore.
Yeah.
Your threes and your fours is almost same height now.
Yeah.
The three might be taller if you're running point forward.
Like 6'9", and I can understand if you want to have a little bit separation between power forward and small forward.
Yeah, like 6'9" is the number here.
Will probably at least give you,
nice.
I get,
I like.
Also, by the way, where's the 6'7" two guards?
What's this shooting guard capped at?
Same thing, 6'7".
6'7" two guard.
Oh.
Like 6'7"'s even kind of tall for a two guard.
No, sorry, you're a liar. Two guard is 6'5".
Two guard is 6'5"?
Yeah, which is right. So there is a difference.
Oh, I'm sorry, the two. Yeah, not the three. I keep thinking.
Then what was? Let me go back.
The two guard cap is 6'5".
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
That doesn't mean the small forward isn't undersized. But two guard is 6'5". It's why is point guard 6'5"?
I'm looking at Slim's player right now. and he's 6'7" shooting guard. So I'm not completely lying.
Oh,
he's a 6'7" shooting guard.
You know what? I wonder if he created before they changed all the arcs.
I
wonder if he created before the arc changes. I need to send that. I'm gonna run that to.
So if that's the case, then I'll definitely take back what I said a little bit. But then that makes the drafting even worse, in my opinion. Then because then you're really going to be playing small ball. That's. Let me. I just want to double check myself in the 3. No, because if you go look at 3 and D, and the max height is 6'7".
It says 6'5".
I'm clicking on it right here. It says 6'7".
Is it just that one spot?
Like the spark plug is 6'5".
Yeah.
3 and D 6'7".
Oh, okay, yeah, 3 and D 6'7". What?
So, yeah.
Why?
3 and D is the only one that's 6'7". Yeah.
The
so
hell?
that's either an error or.
That's.
I just also think
okay.
Small forward needs to be taller than. Okay, hold on. Yeah, no, I think.
Well, no, small forward needs to be bigger either way.
I guess it's because of defensive stuff. Because if you go look at defense first, small forward, they're 6'9". They can be 6'9".
Weird. Wait, I wonder what the center
cap
is.
I'm not a fan of the height cap or the height that they're doing.
Yeah, the height cap thing is looking weird.
Kind of weird. Because if that's the case, then 3 and D is actually probably the best shooting guard arc.
Yeah.
There's no point in picking.
Well, unless you go what happens at 5, which is C9 Van 0-44 to Panama, who's very clearly said he wants to be a pass first point guard. Then you can't really go 3 and D 2 guard. Probably you need a shooter there.
Why couldn't you?
Because I think you need a shooter there.
3 and D is a shooter.
Yeah, but the point of 3 and D is to have better defense. You're at such low TPE right now. I don't think that.
But if you're playing a pass first. No, because if you're playing pass first, all you need is a big man that can score and get 3-pointers around him, and then you are fucking great. And that's a viable strategy to build by. But if we're going on to the next pick, how you were saying, you said it is Van.
Yep, it is C9 Van 0-44 point guard. This is the best. This is the top guy on my board who's not a head office member. He has $83 million because he's a media god. I love Van as a really good pick for chess. 4D chess here in Panama at 5.
And then you're also pairing a point guard with a power forward, which power
and
forward
a guy who
is
says I want assists. He has openly said he is going for the assist record early on. So that's what pouring points into playmaking and passing. That's all he's doing.
And from just a user standpoint, forget that, about, he can just make money with whatever media that he's just going to do, because apparently he just does it. He's just great in the locker room and just great everywhere. And I think that, you want to build a team. We talked about this before, that locker room presence, the person that, people want to be around and just kind of, have fun being in on the team with. That's your guy right there. So
yeah,
and
I will
personally,
looking into this pick.
Go ahead.
Just looking into this pick a little bit more, just because I pulled this up. Chess's player is not a max height for his position, which is interesting.
Well, I'm not either.
Okay.
How much would that matter?
I feel like I don't know,
because it's draft day. I'm not assuming the sim engine is good.
I'm not sure how much it matters. I mean, because 6'9" is not that bad. I mean, if you're power forward, I would prefer you to be in your 6'10s, 11s, maybe 7-footer.
What's his build? What's his 6'9" build?
He's a balanced.
That's right then. That's going to be your fundamental 4s.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Overall, though, I agree, though.
I do want to say another thing. I don't know 4D chess as well. I know they're one of the founding members or the founder of the Crabs. Here in PBE, I don't know 4D as well. 4D could not pull me on his own. But Van plus other like if we're talking free agency for me personally, Van and then like other good things around him, but Van as a centerpiece could bring me a place. I love Van.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I really like Van.
I think this is an important pick for 4D, who I don't know how many FAs he is going to be able to pull, like with a Crunk, for example, or Person Man. Like, there's certain GMs that are going to be working with a FA polling deficit. It's just my opinion. And I think 4D is one of those guys, and Van, I think, will help with that, with the people that know him well. Or not even know him well, but just see him around. He's one of the most active guys in the league right now.
Van is also, like, not for me personally, but Van also has a few enemies as well. I would put him in the same category as Slim, where there's a lot of people that love him, and there's a few people that dislike him.
Oh yeah, because his whole ISFL.
Oh, because those ISFL stuff.
Yeah. So you definitely hurt yourself there a little bit when it comes to like how you're saying free agency. But there's also a lot of people that do love him, so I think it's kind of a win-win.
Fair.
Like it's not going to hurt him too much.
I'm gonna speed this along a little bit because we're only getting paid for an hour and we're at 46 minutes. 6th pick, Juosu, center 2, Musi and the Lake Superior Raiders. All right, let's get this debate out of the way. This should have been Laser.
Great pick. I mean. Damn.
This should have been Laser. It's like it is 55-45. But sit down and think about this. Delete Juosu from your mind. I know you like can't do this, but like just like first center off the board. Okay? I should have done this, but I didn't. Delete Juosu and Laser from your mind. I'm gonna like Juosu's resume in this league and Laser's resume. I don't think Juosu's resume in the WSBL is first round.
Yeah, but that's not why he drafted her though.
No. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying Juosu isn't a first round pick because that name is a thing.
It's like it's what it comes down to. It's just like. This is where your scouting comes in and knowing, hey, you know, like, do you trust this person to be a max earner to fit this slot? And yeah. I'm not, you know, obviously Laser could have gone in this slot too, but it's hard. It's really hard to debate Juosu, and which is the part that like
the it's Juosu thing.
But that's a huge thing. You can't just say, "Oh, take out the name."
Said on the draft
makes a lot of it though.
Musi said on draft that Juosu is a mentor to him, so it makes sense why this pick was made by Musi. I'm just saying for the pure draft position, this needs to be Laser. Just want to get that out there.
I mean, I could somewhat agree, but Juosu also brings a factor that is going to also attract other people to the team. Mm-hmm. Because Juosu is very well liked. Juosu is one of my favorite people to talk to. I know we don't get along all the time, but she's definitely one of my favorite people to talk to easily, though. I don't see a problem with the pick. You could definitely make the argument that yes, Laser should have been here. Laser should have been at least the first center off the board. I could have argued Laser higher at this point.
Well, no, yes. I think Laser should have been. I think Laser should have been 3. Either Laser or Dude Man should have been 3. That's another dude who's tumbling here.
And we'll get to it in a minute.
If 4D was closer to Van, then fine, because on sheer money volume on Van's behalf, then I can excuse that if you're going positionally. But the next selection, 7th overall. Simo, I love you. You got 3. First of all, can we talk about how Simo gets like 4 league jobs in every league, but my boy Sory can't cop an updater job, but Simo can, even though he's got like 8 jobs already. Simo, 7th overall to the Carolina Reapers. This is a selection from Hordle. Simo, DSFLHO, PBEHO. I mean, I love Simo, but why is the commissioner not this pick? Kind of interesting that second point guard. The wild card on the point guard position was Van because of the money amount. not the league job, but the sheer amount of media written in double media, $83 million worth. He was the wild card here. Outside of the wild card, this needed to be Dude Man first because he's the commissioner and he probably should have been higher, but at 7th overall, it's SEMO. So again, compare the resumes, compare the banks. There is a case for SEMO. I wonder if Hortle, Dude Man, SEMO, big guys in ISFL. I wonder, there's wonder if this is a personal connection situation where it's like these two are tight. These two are tighter than Hortle and Dude Man. But I think I would have, from a pure pick perspective, I think I would have gone Dude Man here. But this is much closer than the Laser Juosu debate for me. But this just shows you how deep this is, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue against this pick. I think I love SEMO a lot. We've been recently in a beef, but like he's one of my favorite people to talk to easily from my PBE time. I'm not arguing against this pick. Unlike I just can't do it. There's I don't think there's a big enough difference between Dude Man and SEMO at this point.
I'm not going to crap on this. I think that I would slight Dude Man, but I think this is the place where you can go personal connection, where you can grab the personal connection here. I think they are so close. Enoch, your thoughts on SEMO? You know him. You've worked
I mean
with
SEMO's
him and against him.
Like you said, he has been just max earning and incredible pretty much in all the leagues that he has been in. So I'm not obviously Dude Man is pretty cool too. I don't know him as well. We only scouted him back when he first joined PBE, and I didn't know him from ISFL because I'm not in there. But I only heard really good things. Now, you do have a point that the head office people probably should have gone a lot higher, but
SEMO isn't the head office though.
Oh, okay, head office intern. I guess,
yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I do want to make a correction. Actually, no, Juosu might have been the better pick because she does have $17 million, although Laser has the job sustainability. But actually, that's a lot closer than I thought. I thought Juosu had done like one article, but she must have done a lot more.
Well, but going back to that, Juosu can sustain herself from media as well. Mm-hmm. So that's the point. It's just like at one point, you could say someone makes more money than the other, but at one point you can't spend it all, so it doesn't really matter. So
yeah, Enoch, you would know something about not being able to spend all the money you have.
So at one point, it's just like you just need to make the X amount to max earn, and that's all you need. So I couldn't care less if that was 22 mil or the other guy had 40 mil. But but back to SEMO, and again, personal relationship comes down to a lot. They may have played with SEMO. They maybe they just knew each other and they just hung out, talked a lot more than per se with Dude Man. I don't know, and yeah, so it's. I can't say why Dude Man fell because I would think that logically the part of the people who started the league, you would think that they would be that guaranteed commitment. And you said that you mentioned that they had 35 mil in the bank already because they got paid for whatever, and so that's already set for at least a few seasons.
Yeah.
So beats me, but it's not. But here it's like you can't I'll take SEMO any day. So. At number 7, I'm cool with that. So
number 8
moving
off
on
the board. This is your first. Well, as we get halfway through, we hit the halfway mark. Listening to the Nightshift podcast, Leatherneckmike, Sory, and Enoch, aka Yako1217, joining us here for this extra long edition. This is the first stinker.
You think it's a stinker?
Yeah. This is bad. This is really bad.
I personally have never spoke to this user in my personal time.
Wait. I want to say this first. Pat is the GM of Philadelphia in the ISFL.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is a totally capable GM in the ISFL. From my point of view, from talking to him when I was getting drafted, he knows what's going on. He knows what he is doing. If you wander around the ISFL, like if you look at medias, whatever, he's like Net, not upper net, not him. He's like Net Landic in he's like on every media. You see, he's not the world's biggest user, but he's that guy you see in every stitch of the forums.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the ISFL's version of Net, to me. Except I think he's a better GM. Pat is a capable user. This is a bad pick. This is best friend bull crap. That is a bad GM move by Swante. That I heard so many things about him. I thought he was going to do better than this. Dude man is here. Shu is here for God's sake. He's got like 30 media articles. Like, Dude man, Shu, Laser, just and SD Core, who's got plenty of bank, does not go in the first round at all. This is Pat. Probably is he a sec? This is just because of the connection. This is an overdraft by an entire round, maybe a round and a half. This is such a... Azut isn't even gone. He's a department head. He doesn't go the entire rest of the first round. He's not gone at this point. This is a severe overreach. Big time reach. This is what we like to call a four-finger stinker of a pick. And it's not about the user. It's not about, I have a problem with Pat. I like Pat, but you have at some point, you have to look at the draft as what it is, and you're building a team and you're trying to win. And I'm sorry, but if you're trying to win, this is not the pick you make. And here's the other thing, too, that bothers me about this selection.
Mm-hmm.
What we know at this point, Singapore hasn't traded their second round pick. They will pick second at around, I think that would be, if 25. I count this right,
25.
25?
25, yeah.
Yeah, 25. There is no reason Pat is not on the board at 25, or if you get to 22 and you smell, oh man, I think Platin Cat's going to take him, or whatever, like the ISFL people that are below you that will be ahead of you in the next round. If you smell, I think Crunk's going to go get him, then trade up 3 spots, move back into 4th to the 5th, move back 3, move up 3, do something like that to get him in the second. You cannot do this in the first round. This is a big, I agree with Slim, this is an F. I know we haven't been doing the grades thing. I think everything to this point has somewhere been between A- and A+. There's some arguments one way or the other. This is an F.
Slim graded this an F. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I he's right. This is an F. Your guys' thoughts?
Like I said, I don't know Pat that much.
And by the way, no league job that I know of. No league job at all. And I see no media. He might have done one, because he has money in the bank. He might have done one. Or made a logo, or make graphics, perhaps. But I see no reason, no in-front reason to believe he earns. Or he earns that max equipment that, again, the commissioner is here. He has 2 seasons of equipment and commissioner's pay. The guy with, the center with, 9 league jobs is sitting right here. A dude who's written 90 articles already, half and half or not, is sitting right here. I'll walk off. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's a bad pick. I think it's a bad pick because of some of the users that are left. Like you said, I mean, Dude Man's being passed up on. Laser is being passed up on. Like, I think I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how well he's known over in ISFL. It seems like he's pretty well known over there, at least though. There's definitely a chance. I feel like that he could have been at 25 though.
This might be a severe overreaction, but I don't necessarily know if I want to play for them. I mean, if you're gonna neglect winning that badly, I don't know that I want to play for you. Especially if I don't know you.
Well, I mean, I don't know how they outside of like I think you said there are GMs in ISFL. Like outside of that, I don't know how they have been earning. I think what it comes down to is that if it's the buddy pick and this is the risk. Now, if you pass on them here, I don't whatever the next pick is, would they have gotten this person?
Yeah.
And legitimately they thought that is a no because of other ties that they may have. Like you said, there's a good amount of ISFL people in here. So maybe it's possible that they wanted to make sure that they get this person in because of XYZ factors. And there's a very I guess how should I put it? Objective view. Maybe that's not even a word, but of what the player brings, because you're looking at from a statistical analysis perspective. This is how much money they have, how much posts they have, how many posts they have, and whatever else metric that you're trying to go by. So yeah, I can't say, like, obviously you're right, and if taking a very very objective view of it is that Dude Man is still out there, Laser is still out there, and guys who have shown that they can earn are out there. But at the same time, the GM, you said Swanty was the GM, right?
Yep, Swanty.
Yeah, he may have zero relationship with the other people. I don't know. So I'm not saying, I don't know. I'm not gonna give it a grade because I don't know the person. But I would agree with you that from an objective standpoint, there's probably better people to pick at that slot. But there's times when you have a user, you know what they can bring to your locker room, and you don't think that whatever your next pick is, you're going to get them. You gotta secure them. That is my defense for them. I don't know if that was a fact or whatever. If they turn out great for them, then it's worth it. Assuming that, again, assuming that they won't go in like the 12th or the 13th or in the early second rounds. So that's what I assume that they're getting at.
This is what Slim says, and I think he puts this best. So if you want to pay Slim $100,000 out of my paycheck, go ahead. But I think he puts this best. Slim says in his grading article, I know Pat pretty well. I like the guy a lot. He's a grader in ISFL. It's astounding. I say it again, astounding, that a guy with no job, written almost no media, and just posted a couple graphics is going 8th overall here when I truly believe he could have been available in the second round. You're taking Pat over Dude Man, Laser, and SD Core. I don't get it at all. It's not the pick I would have made. It's not the pick 15 other GMs would have made. I love Pat. I hope he proves me wrong, but he'll have to have a better career than a lot of players to do so. It just doesn't make sense. I think he puts it perfectly. I think he's, the astounding part, whatever. But, just seriously, like, I think he puts that about as perfectly as I can put it. Look, this guy doesn't,
Well, that's my thing. You believe that they'll be around second round, and Slim did not believe.
I see nothing that says
the
answer to that is no.
So if they think that if logically they would have been around the second round, then this is a bad pick because you could have waited,
right?
And so forth. And I do agree. Like based on those metrics, like you have a way to earn with graphics, and I don't know. Maybe people are getting their feet wet and so forth. So it's hard to say. I do agree that if between the person who hasn't done anything or done much versus people who have already banked a lot of money, I would take the person that has banked a lot of money. But again, there's that relationship factor that really muddles things, and there's no way to measure that. So, but yeah, I get what he's saying. If you just on pure relationship, if they could have gotten them in the second round, then that's not a good pick, because it could have been someone else that could have filled your team need, and you still would have gotten the person that you want.
Pick number 9 goes by Kyle on Discord. Inverted, the general manager of the Austin Vaqueros, or however you say it. One of the guys on my will not play for list because he did not scout me. Cale Johnson, dude, man, with the 9th pick. This is an A++. I mean, you're sitting at 9th overall, and the commissioner falls in your lap, and you go, thanks. I don't really think there's anything else to say to this other than A+. I mean, this is as good a pick as you can make.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer one. Yeah, this was a no-brainer at this point. Like, you can't argue anything against it, and it's shocking enough that he even fell this far.
Pick number 10. Oh, did you have more to say? Sorry.
The last thing I had to say was you're pairing a point guard with a center, and I think that is a great start to your franchise.
Number 10, turd in the punch bowl. Not him, just the pick. Herschel Andrew, ABH, goes to Platon Cat and Vegas. 1 graphic posted. He does have an updater job, but he was given that job after... Or, I'm sorry, I think ABH... I'm thinking of Platon that has the updater job. ABH does too. I thought they both were. I just confused them for a second. ABH does have an updater job, but that came out after the draft, so unless he had insider info from Laser... This is a bad pick. It gets redeemed after the draft because he gets the updater job. But, center. Laser is here! What are you doing? What is wrong with you? Good God. You're 10 picks in, and Laser isn't off the board. There's a reason that every mock that got made in this league had him going either in the top 3 or the top 5. Like, seriously. At a certain point, you have to just look at yourself and go, what are we doing? Like, with Dude Man and with Laser both. Laser's not even off the board, we're at 12. I'm already DMing Laser at this point, like, I think it was at this pick. It was actually before this pick, it was like pick 8, I went to Laser, I says, did you tell people you didn't want to get taken until the 5th round? Did you name a specific place you want to go? And he goes, no. And I'm like, what? Look, Juosu 55-45, okay? Maybe it's even closer since Juosu actually has a little more money than I thought she did. Like, I legitimately thought she had a few million. Maybe it's even 52-48. But, really, seriously, guys, what is this? Like, if Laser's going pick 10, then I'm going pick 79, and Sory's going pick 125. Because the only reason, sorry, I'm putting you below me is I've met some ISFL people in the last couple of seasons. Because I'll be fresher in their brains. Yeah, we're playing ISFL Love Fest. This is, again, the pick is redeemed after the draft because of the updater, but when this selection is made, this is a 4-finger stinker.
I think it's very, very similar to the Pat pick, except I would change it a little bit even worse just because it's the same position as Laser.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to think that you pass Laser. This is the second center off the board?
Yep, this is center number... Both centers, if Juosu went off the board, then Laser did. Fine. If you could convince me... if you're a GM, and again, this is because I don't know their plans, not with this pick, but with everything above, you can convince me, hey, I took I took Van because of his bank, and I wanted the pass first point guard. That's what I want to do. I got a power forward here. Okay. You can convince me that you didn't take Laser because Slazer, I love the guy. He's a center. I wanted a different position up here, XYZ. You can convince me with a plan why Laser drops here, if they all have a plan. But you can't convince me with any plan unless you have 7 people all in a row tampered that tell you that ABH or I'm not coming to your team in 3 seasons. Unless you have ducks in a row lined up, you cannot give me a plan. Again, unless Laser said, I won't play for you, which I don't think he did. I have no reason to believe he did. I asked him if he told everybody that, and he said no. There is no plan that you can give me that says he is off the board before Laser. Bad. F-. Go back to school. Bad. Bad, bad, bad. That's a team I'll never wind up going to after this podcast. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna join you in the doghouse, Slim. Make room. Enoch, any thoughts on ABH here? And by the way, I will preface this like I do with most things, media, podcasts, whatever. I'm criticizing the pick here. I'm not criticizing the user. I honestly don't even know ABH that well. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's probably a great dude. I have no doubt that he is. A lot of the people that are here are. But it's just about the GM side of this.
I agree with that Laser should have gone here. Just because of the not the pedigree, but what they have done in this league, specifically in this league. Because again, this is a lot of people's second, third league, and at one point, and odds are, I'm not saying that that's gonna be the case. Someone's gonna burn out at one point, and may not keep up with the earning, and that will be the case. I'm not saying that ABH is. I had great conversations with ABH when I scouted him, when he joined PBE. Just a great guy, and he actually reached out to me when he first joined. Like I didn't know who he was, and he reached out to me asking me questions about how to build the player. And
who is ABH in PBE? I feel like I figured this out.
Hayden Andrews.
Hayden Andrews.
On the Kingpins right now. Forgot who the Majors team is, but
and I'm pretty sure number 1 earner is Class.
I gotta double check. I don't remember.
It's either first or second. It's a good earner, and I'm not saying it's a good user, but at the spot,
I have no doubt that he can earn. So I think that the pick itself, while the user itself, this is what I go back to. You have like 40 people who could have like literally gone there, but
yeah.
But now between that, because you have those 40, you gotta be able to pick and use discretion in terms of what's the cushion here. Because not saying that ABH will go IA or whatever, but no, I fully believe that he will max earn. He wouldn't. I don't doubt that he's one of the from, if I recall correctly from my talk with him, it's just he wouldn't jump into something unless he knows he can. He's like me, wouldn't jump into something unless he knows that he can fully do it. So I don't think by any means that this will ever become a bust. But I get, from that standpoint, like all things equal, now you got to throw in different things to see, well, your pros and cons, kind of like pros and cons list. And in this case, it's stacking up, like, what are the good things, So I don't. The other part is I also don't know the conversation that went on between the GMs and the players.
Yep, of course.
So that was the other part. So while objectively, I believe that Laser should have gone here, I don't think this will ever end up to be a bad pick in a sense that it will just fall flat on their face. So, but that's my thought. I like ABH, and I'm not surprised that they are especially, I'm not surprised that they're a first round pick. I am not surprised by that. But
the resume here,
but I do agree that Laser should have gone there.
Yeah.
And let's say you flip flop 10 and 12, or something like that. Then I was like, okay, then.
Yeah, if you flip flop 10 and 12, you want now I don't know ABH, but I would actually say, and again, he has an updated job. I do. That third, who center number 3 is? There is a lot of blurred lines on that, and I will put up a stiff argument that 3 through 5, actually 6, because AW has an updater job. I will put up a stiff argument that if there's 3 centers off the board in the first round, I don't know if ABH is the third. 3 through 6 center is tight. I don't know if ABH, certainly not when this pick was made. There is no way he's the third center. Not a chance. This is surely based off of friendship, I think. So, again, this is like, we're not playing
friendship. Though. I mean, I think you're sometimes shoving off the friendship thing as like, it doesn't matter. This is hard, just straight out stats, which is fine. But that relationship.
Well, no, but that can factor in, but it shouldn't be
part of your team, part of your war room, part of like when we were drafting, like I you and I have talked about this. Like I'm not just drafting the player. I'm drafting the intangible that they can bring to the team. So like we're drafting future people who want to be part of this organization.
But
so yeah.
Is that worth going from center instead of picking the second best center who's basically at, like, if you're going to tier list it, you've got an S tier center, or you've got possibly at this point center somewhere between 5 and 7. I'm going with the second tier center. I'm going with center number 2, who's an S tier user. Sorry. But that's just me.
But that's based on you not knowing who they are and what their potential is too. And I think this is where it gets, so like, I'm not.
Yeah.
So there's the objective view of it where Laser has this going for him, and ABH right now has, well, at the point I guess nothing. So
he had nothing.
So which I totally get, but again, like it comes down to, well, when you're talking to him, it was like, I applied to 5 different jobs already or whatever, and I can make 1 billion graphics, and I know how to sustain myself. Whether you it goes back to whether you earn $100 million per season or you earn just barely scratching that max equipment, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Now, I will say, I feel like, me personally, this pick feels like if I was a GM and I took Sory here, it's just this, it's just reaching for a buddy. Pick number 11 is Shady Shoelace, Marcus Kane to the Puerto Rico Passion. Love that name. And Darkness Rising, or his name is Brightness Falling here. Like, why?
Hilarious. It's hilarious.
What the heck?
I think it's brilliant.
I was like, wait, but everyone knows you as Darkness. What the heck?
But that's the brilliance of it.
It's funny. I guess according to Slim's thing here, Shady was a former Wraith and Darkness Yellowknife, so there's Darkness Yellowknife GM. There's an obvious connection there. I like Shady. I
cool,
had some. It was. I'll be honest. It was limited, just because I was only there for a couple seasons. I was a minor league. I wasn't around too much. I did have some interaction with Shady, in Cancun, and I like Shady. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. And again, at a certain point, there's just a quality of a draft thing here. But again, Shady's a fine pick. Shady's a fine pick. Nothing wrong with that.
For me personally, based off users alone, this would be my number 1 team I would like to join.
Okay.
I love Shady, and I've always got along with Brightness or Darkness. God damn it! I hate that shit already.
I know. I hate it.
Light mode.
Why? Light mode.
We always have good interaction.
Davey?
Davey, is that you?
What is it? Mike, when did we all used to Among Us? There we go. I couldn't think of Among Us. God damn it. I always had good conversations with Darkness there. And then I love Shady as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
as
I will
long as
say
he,
I'm
as
gonna
long
be a
as
better
he
small forward than
earns, as long as
Shady
he's
Star.
gonna earn this, good pick.
Talking to Shady, he's 100% going to earn. I've talked to Shady before.
Yeah, and again, this could be a positional thing. If you don't have a relationship with Shu and you look at all his half media articles and you think I don't want to go with this guy who's going to get all of his media invalidated because he has everybody else do all the work for him, or at least some of the work for him. Like I'm talking to Shu, right? So I'm talking to Shu and he goes, "Oh, everybody's giving me crap about all this half media, but I still gotta write all this down." And I'm thinking, boy, shoot, then you're just stupid. Then you're just an idiot who doesn't know how to copy and paste. That's your own fault for being dumb. Shoot, I love you, but goddammit. But again, this pick gets less of a grade because
So you want to know why they did?
Huh?
I was like, there's a reason why they didn't take Laser here, though. If that's what you were referring to.
Yeah. Oh.
Because it's the GM. The GM is the center.
This is Darkness is the GM, right?
Yeah, Darkness. Is
yeah. Okay.
center.
So that's why
they
this
weren't
isn't
taking
Laser because
He's
this
the
is
center.
center. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I kind of
That-
forgot
that-
his GM player for a second. So yeah, then this is probably
And then
fine.
there's no point in taking.
Yeah, then there's no point in taking Laser. Even for BPA. 12th pick, Crunk wins the lottery.
I don't even think we need to spend that much time on this pick just because we spend so much time on other picks because of this pick.
Moving
Well,
on.
I'm going to spend time with
Laser.
this personally because I am so pissed that Crunk gets Laser because that means he's not going to draft me in the second round, and I'm mad because now I'm down to like 4 teams that I think will take me, and I'm getting the feeling I'm going to go in like the 5th. I'm either getting taken by Ziegel in the top of the 3rd round, or I'm going in like the 5th to Person Man. And I'm going to go join PBE Meme Land. So yeah, Laser's pick 12, best pick in the draft. Value, user, moi. 13th pick, Baby Yoda, Schoolboy Shoe. By Person Man of the Mud City
Happy
Wolves.
birthday.
Birthday
Happy
shoot.
birthday, Shu.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, show!
No-brainer pick.
So,
No-brainer pick. And
with Shu here, with all of his half media, so do we get him half a birthday present? Like, is this that person you get the birthday or Christmas gift that you also use?
only if you can copy and paste that birthday gift.
Shu, I love you. Shu, Person Man, Shu, PBE. Person Man is gonna corner the market on the PBE people. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Pretty
why
much.
not?
Yeah.
Like if everybody else is going everywhere else, you might as well take the bulk of the people that nobody else is taking, but that they'll just max earn for you.
And it's better than the rumors I heard that he was gonna take that trash can Bauer here. Love you, Bow.
Yeah, honestly, I thought Bauer was going here from things I heard, but I guess he'll go.
By the way,
second.
shout out to my dumbass for doing my mock draft the day the mock draft PT came out, and I got 3.5 TPE. Yeah. 14th pick, the Seattle Lurkers, Blasoon, right? Did I say the name correctly? Blasoon?
Yep. Yes. Blasoon.
Blasoon takes Memento Mori, shooting guard. I'm not really sure who this is. He's active. This guy is freaking everywhere in BSL chat. I don't think this guy goes to sleep.
I mean, according to the CC, they have a chance of making ISFL Hall of Fame with the current pick, Brandon Booker. So I assume
Also looks like a former
probably...
general manager of the Liberty and of Philly and of Orange County. Who was I was talking to? I think I was talking to, it was either Jules or AW. I was talking to one of the two. Ed said that they love They love Mori.
Yeah, Blast and Mori GM together.
Oh, they GM together?
They used to GM the Otters together.
Oh, well, then that makes all the sense in the world even more. But yeah, I Mori's active everywhere. Like in ABH, I don't really see around in main chat much, but like Mori, I see around all the time. So I think there's definitely a sign of activity there. I don't, especially if they GM together. Now 14. Here is where I think you're starting to wander gray. Because if we're looking at SD Core or we're looking at Mori, you GM'd with Mori, then I think going Mori is much safer here. 14, we start to wander, like, at this point, here at 14, we are pretty solidly starting to drift down out of that, dear God, why did you do this? Except for the next pick. We are wandering down out of the hard lock territory into more, maybe if you pick a comfy pick here, it's a little bit better land. Because now we're bordering the second round. It's like, I mean, it's that borderline. You're starting to cross that border where round 2 people is not as hard of a reach here. And the talent level is just that microscopic amount lower. Even though there's out the wazoo with talent.
And with that, on the 15th overall pick, the Mexico City, I don't know how to pronounce that, Quetzals?
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 Quesos?
Hold up, we're talking pesos. Pesos. They take Igor Petrov, shooting guard, the CC user. I don't know.
He didn't even do his week 1 tasks. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the case. I mean, it definitely sucks.
Bad. Giant pile of suck bad.
But and the thing is with that though is, dude, it's only how much TP did he miss out on? 8?
Hey, yes, but he made this media piece. That was his first sign of life. Okay? We're talking about you drafted a dude, and again, I said reaching to the second round. This is like reaching to the 5th, okay? I'm going to be honest, CC. You were no higher than a 5th round pick. I thought you weren't active. I didn't even know you were here. I mean, no tasks, no activity, no sign of life. As dead as a guy who got hit by a bus. And then a plane. Nothing. First round pick. Over guys with multiple podcasts. Over guys who did one podcast. Over the guy who was supposed to present the draft. whose internet didn't exist. Over the next pick. Over everything. The hell is this? Like, this is what I was like, okay, welcome to the clown show. The circus has entered the building. Mexico City, thank you, bye, no chance for you. And again, ABH I didn't know well. I do know CC. I hung out with the guy when I got drafted by Chicago. I'm pretty much going to go IA in the ISFL, but I'm going to do my best to stay doing predictions and the PTFL. And well, it's funny because I was talking to Zane about this, and I told Zane what I told CC I'd still be doing, and Zane goes, "You don't know what a mid-earner is, do you?" So I'm gonna try and stay some earning at least a little every once in a while for Chicago, for CC, because I love the guy. He's such a nice guy. I think he did a really nice job in Chicago. He and Bailey both. Huh? What? It's like if I would have taken Enoch in the first round and he didn't even have a goddamn player yet. Seriously, people. I know relationships are important. Believe me, I understand that. But if you want to present to every other user in the league that you're going to take this at least somewhat seriously, because again, it's not life and death, but if you want to draw somebody who's not just a meme lord and is going to take this an iota seriously, F minus, get out of my building. Bad.
I think in the end is the question being is that can you with this pick, and the only question that you have to be honest with yourself when you're drafting is, would this person logically be available later? And this goes back to when we talked about ABH.
And I think logically it's like 2 or 3 rounds later.
Well, yeah, because from what I know zero about the person, so I don't know. Maybe they're absolutely incredible elsewhere and or in ISFL wherever they're from, and so forth. I hope so. I wish them the very best, but when I'm
FYI, the reason I say this is a friend pick, there's a heavy Chicago connection between D-Walt and CC. So that's why I say this is a best friend pick. Look, I had a great conversation with D-Walt. My scouting convos ain't that long. I do like D-Walt. I think he's a positive guy. I got no problem with him. But sorry, man. I don't know what the hell you're doing. $0. CC had 0 money until he wrote a mock draft article. After the first round was already out, and after Slim already just went with the Enola Gay and nuked him. And I know that makes me beating a dead horse, but hey, it's my first crack at the horse. Yeah. Bad.
I don't. You said most of the stuff. I don't want to go. I mean, I don't. Like I said, I don't want to say it's a bad pick because.
You want me to hand the bat to you so you can also get after the horse?
I don't know. I would rate it like a D plus, maybe C. I wouldn't say. I don't think there's any question that CC can't earn, and if he does have the connection with DeWalt, it could also work out there. But it's definitely somewhat shocking that someone like Corey, or I'm not even for sure who else is off on the board. I just feel like there's a lot. Like I think there's
at least Pat had earned money at this point. This is worse than Pat because at least Pat has money. Pat has $7 million. CC doesn't have a bucket to... not a bucket. CC doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of in the WSBL. There's... line 2 through line... 101 with bank accounts that are better picks than this.
Off, Mike, though.
Okay.
Mike, we're gonna move on to the next pick because this has been a long podcast.
Yeah, the
next pick is 16th overall Vancouver Venom select Mikolaj Kopernik, point guard, KC15 user. Great pick. I don't see a problem with this pick. Muford picked someone he knew and
okay. So this is a relationship. Not totally, but because I think there's similarity between together, KC and what's left. But
yeah, they played together in the old Utah.
Okay. Oh, that's why AW thought he was going there.
Which, I mean, I think...
Which he still could because because Muford has 17. Yeah. And I think Muford is... who did AW tell me Muford was? Bergen Cannon.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they played together, then I don't need to mention where's SD Core, because I think I think Core is a first round grade pick, but then at a certain point, you're really pushing it. This is probably a B grade pick. I think for the position, Core is the better pick. But again, if all you got to do to change my mind about something, and maybe this makes me wishy-washy, but if you show me this is what I'm doing here, and I think that makes sense, then I can accept it. So I think just because there's a much easier way to show me that you got what you're doing here, that this is fine. I will say though, again, like, is Casey gonna max earn? You know, Casey, I love you, but he abandoned 2 franchises in PvE. Well, I guess he didn't abandon
he still
movies,
earned.
but I mean, he still earns, but like,
there's a difference between stepping down as GM versus going IA here.
Oh, that's fair.
like he's not GMing the team,
No.
here. So he didn't,
And
he had PvE had 2 max earners already, and 2 and I don't know how he is in ISFL, but
updater job, but that is post draft. And again, there is.
Which that one's kind of a no-brainer. Casey
yeah.
used to be the head updater in PvE, so.
And maybe you're just like, I mean, yeah, of course, because like this guy's gonna wind up having a job just because he's an update. He's like he's an updater somewhere else too. I think. Might be wrong.
So you know what you're. I think in some ways you know what you're getting, and you know that they will have a steady source of income.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so
darn good chance.
So like, and as far as I know, Casey is a pretty loyal guy. So it's not like he's gonna like jump ship on you.
Yeah, it's not like he's gonna go take a GM job with your main rival or anything.
What? Why? Because we gave up the job like the week after he decided to go somewhere else. He waited around for seasons and seasons and seasons, and he finally got his chance back in the minors GM role, and then we stepped down. And by
the way, I did not know Casey was the dude to do this. Then you have Casey and Slim, because Slim really disliked this pick. And I think it's fine. I think there's some better candidates, but if the relationship is there, I'm okay with it. You have Casey and Slim fighting in the media, and I'm like, wait a minute, Casey is capable of this? It's like if Enoch was running around in PvE fighting people. I'd be like, whoa, what the hell happened to you?
Well, there's a part of Casey that he fights back. So, like, I've seen it before.
I'm not saying that. Well, again, Slim was an a-hole to Casey. I will totally say that, and Slim, it was coming from a good place.
But yeah, I mean, what Slim said is that like he went above SD, which is a little shocking because just SD is SD, and I don't know. I don't know. I can't say. I won't go.
Slim said.
I won't go as far as saying
said
like
Buford would regret it for the rest of his life. I was like, whoa, okay, calm down.
Yeah, I won't say that because I think between the two, to me I think SD has the what I would put SD above again because everything else would be equal. They're gonna both max earn, so that's not the question. I think SD has the locker room presence that maybe KC might not. So, but I think this is it's a fine pick here. Like in the end, it's all things equal. You gotta find your intangible and what you feel comfortable as, because you're not talking about you're not talking about this like this random dude versus this max earner, and so.
Before we lock out of this episode of the Nightshift podcast, I do want to say pretty much everybody behaved themselves. I think SD had a legitimate gripe here. I think Zoot and Numbers and some guys who are department heads had legitimate gripes here with not going in the first round. A guy who didn't have a legitimate gripe is the guy who had the gripe. Diesel, did you honestly expect yourself to go in the first round? Did you seriously, honestly expect yourself to go in the first round? And if you did, I know you know why. I know why. But why? Third
will
round
say
grade
this,
on
if
Diesel.
you're looking to get into, if your goal is to be a first round pick, I don't think this particular draft is what you want to aim for. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's impossible.
And
like
there's like what? So it would be, I think total it's like 2 head office interns, but SEMA overlaps, so it'd be like 5 unique department heads. 3 head office, that's 8. CMOS graphics, I think I've got all the departments like bank media, point task, like all that. So there's like already we're at like nearly 10 picks on just people that are heads of jobs or head office, and then you have Laser, who's an HO intern, so that's 9. We're already halfway through the round, and we haven't gotten to everything else that isn't a head office member or a job head. And not all the job heads went. Like, you know, if you look like, I didn't think I was a first round pick. I think I did the workload of a first round pick, but not in this draft. There was a few more PBE GMs, maybe, but I did not expect myself to be a first round pick. I didn't expect myself to be a second round pick until all these mocks started coming out, and they're like, he's going to go in the second round and look at his bank account. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, at one point, you know, you start differentiating yourself because,
and I mean, at some point, 9 jobs in PBE should mean something to somebody.
But yeah, I think the problem is that you have 16 picks when legitimately, like, you could argue, like, well, Sory said 25. You know, other probably argue more.
I seriously, Sory, I do believe that it's more than that.
So I mean, the amount of people who
are first round quality, if you were in
any season,
right,
that would have been a first round pick.
I'm spitballing when I said my number. Like,
yeah, I think it's a little more than that.
It obviously could have been way more.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, whatever the number is, but obviously way more than 16.
Especially when you get into people who are going
to... way more than 16.
Yeah, especially when you're going to get into people who are going to drop and stuff like that. I think, you know, there's more than 30 unique talents. But Sory's number might be 25 first-round picks for this draft. Like, this draft itself, there's people you could justify now. You know, 15 of those people that you could justify for this first round, you can justify on spots 12 through 16. But the line between pick 13 and pick 28, there's going to be gems, there's going to be busts, but that A tier user, like once you get below the S tier and the A plus tier, that A tier user in this league, there is such and there's guys I haven't even mentioned, like Mythander, like there is a G 2019 who some had going in the first round. I love Scunny McHits, whatever he is. That guy's absolutely fucking awesome. There are so many people in that A tier.
I love that guy. Or G2.
There's so many people in that A tier that you could argue up if they had this one more thing. But the depth of talent is so strong. I'm sorry, Poot. I don't understand how the hell you thought you were first round.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that you're fighting all of this for 16 slots, and at one point it's like the margin of difference between you going. I could imagine picks after picks where, you know, like it's slim. It's very slim. It's almost something like a luck of a draw. Maybe you had a bad day, or, you know, or this person just had a better relationship with this person, or, you know, or a positional need or something like that, or however their theory of building a team is. So like, yeah, if one of your goals is to go first round in the draft, this is so not it.
Yeah.
Because your chances are pretty divided and low, you know. So I mean, like we said at the top, there's a legit strategy to why I mean aside from, you know, like wanting to kind of see how this goes, like there's a legit strategy. I kind of want to be a top pick. And I know that if I enter into the draft, at least at the time when I even remotely considered it, there's no way, I guess, I could have played it off as like, oh, maybe I could have, be a low pick and would have been like the sleeper of the pick, but I guess I could have gone that way. But to me, it's like, no, I don't know if I want to fight it out with everybody like that, because it's like, it's not fun, like if I wait like a full season, then, at least my career won't overlap with everybody else.
I think there is a legit strategy of, and this is going to really suck for whoever winds up having this done. This is going to be a guy, maybe a Diesel who doesn't go where he wants, like round-wise, whatever, or like if I wind up dropping to the 5th or something like that, and my player's career doesn't turn out the way I want. There's a legitimate strategy to, as far as your footprint in this league, to retiring in Season 3, creating in Season 4, because you'll be the best player in the league for like 3 seasons. Completely untouched. Because, and we'll get into this on the next episode, if we don't cover rounds 2 and 3 that hard, if there's no drama and whatever, we could go that, and then like the backup thing that I want to get to in some episode of this. I have a problem with having 160 people at the same time, and that problem is 8 seasons down the road. But we'll get to that on a future edition of the Nightshift podcast. Thank you, Enoch. Most people know you by aka Yako1217. Thank you very much for joining us on this hour and even more edition of the podcast. I'm going to grab some food to Mountain Dew and write some WSBL media.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you for coming. Sory, as always. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you for having me. Let's end this on a great note, and let's go Mud City Wolves, am I right? Let's go.
What, do you think you're going to Med City? Did you talk to...
I have no idea.
I was gonna say, like, did you talk to PM?
I just scrolled through the list.
Sorry, just literally picked that name out of a hat and just like, it's like, please pick me.
I literally scrolled down the forum real quick and landed on the first team, and I was like, yeah, that's the team. Let's holler.
Actually, you know what? While I'm getting the outro ready here, where do you think you're going? Because I have no clue.
Wait, are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording. I'm getting the outro ready.
I'm not going to answer that question.
I'm getting some music.
I don't want to dox some teams.
Is this going to be Angry Saru? Is it going to be Angry Saru if you're not off the board on Thursday night?
No, it won't be. I just don't want to give up. Like I was only scouted by 7 teams out of 16, so I'm probably going to fall. I know there's some users that are GMs that don't like me, even though they never talked to me before. It's just how it goes.
I wonder who that could be.
I mean, that wasn't targeted at anybody specific. Like, I promise you that. That's
wasn't.
Like, there's a bunch of people that I know don't like me, but just have never talked.
That specific statement wasn't targeted at something that names with B.O. Lobert? You sure about that?
I mean, if you want to take it that way, yeah. I mean, it wasn't targeted at anyone specific, no.
Alright, I'll take your word for it. Say, alright, rewrite the outro music. Play us off. Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening to this edition of the Nightshift podcast. Everybody, as always, have a great good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wrong order, who cares, and good night. We will see you for episode 4.